Hello, friends, enemies, and everyone in between. We're back, and yes, I mean there's two of us, two faces behind the McDade Life, and we're coming to do a couples challenge this time around. The task is to take the same hairstyle and put it on two heads, in short. So we'll show you how we get our colored tips twist out, and these are just some of the tools that you're going to need. Something to detangle your hair. You can use your fingers, you can use a brush, you can use a comb. We're using L'Oreal's temporary hair chalk hair dye, so you want to get some gloves if you don't want it all over your hands, as well as a moisturizer and a heat protectant, as well as a blow dryer if you choose to use one. So now what we're going to do is the detangling. We're just going to speed through this part because a lot of you guys have already seen it. If you're on this channel in our last video, which we went into a little bit more detail about that. So quick refresher, you want to moisten the hair and use your fingers to distribute the water throughout the hair and moisten it completely so it's just damp. Once the hair is soft, you can go ahead and part the hair nice and moisturized. Now his hair is refreshed, good to go. We're going to go ahead and make our 4 parts again. Don't forget to clip the hair that you're not working on out of the way, especially if your hair is a little bit shorter and it'll snap back into place. Here we're going to go ahead and apply our Chi heat protectant. You can use whatever you have on hand. I'm literally applying mine on my hand because I like to distribute it thoroughly from ends to roots this way. If you want to apply it onto the hair, you can go ahead and spray the ends directly. We're also using the olive oil organic root stimulators polishing serum. And that's just because the temporary hair chalk is chalky in consistency once it is fully dry. It is as the name suggests. So once you've conceptualized that completely, that means you will look like you have hair on your chalk. Pause, reverse it, spin it, put it back. Now, if you want to combat that, you can put some of the serum on, and liberal amounts actually, and the glossy quality it's going to give your hair is going to balance out that super matte chalky look and hopefully make it look a little more natural. The next step is pretty simple. Either stretch your hair or blow dry it as we're doing in this one for the sake of time. We have a breakfast date, so this is going to be our look for the morning. So we're doing this at night and we're using blow drying on low setting. This is a really unique blow dryer that we're using. It's kind of like a paddle brush blow dryer combination, and we're only able to use it now because we have our detangling brush that we use as also a paddle brush, and we use the same technique that we do when we paddle detangle. Okay, so once your hair is stretched out, this is what you should be left with, a big old fro. The next step is the tedious step. You're gonna put the color on your hair. For this, you're gonna need to use sections again. This is where blow drying or stretching the hair really comes in handy because the strands are a little bit parallel to one another. It makes applying the product a little bit easier. So if you can stretch your hair beforehand, please do. If for some of you that is just picking it out, do it. It'll really help when you're applying this product. and you're not getting it anywhere you don't want it to be. Since we're just doing the tips, it's really important that we're not just throwing it on willy-nilly. And I even used too much product in the first section, but luckily I was able to just kind of distribute it, and it turned out to work just fine. For the rest of the application, me and Osam relocated to a more comfortable location. We're just gonna fly through the rest of putting this color on. It's really a simple process, and as you can see, I didn't even use any gloves for this part once we moved, because I was able to finger detangle the product in a lot better to the ends when I didn't use gloves. And it just comes off with shea butter or coconut oil. I had a mixture of the two on my hand, so I used that, and it just came right off. While I was actually working on his hair, I used a dampened towel that had a little bit on it, and I just used that whenever I had too much of the product or I wanted to handle the blow dryer and didn't want to transfer the product onto that.
Oh wow.
What do you think?
That's cool. It's really cool.
Let's see it. Turn to us.
Why is it all stuck down?
Yeah, we'll get to that part. Right now, actually, this is gonna be just a quick review of the product. If you want a full one, we can definitely do that in the future. But as much as we love the actual color and the way that it comes out on natural hair, where it's not so noticeable when it kind of looks ultra matte, because a lot of 4B and 4C hair can look that way when it's in its kinky state already. It's really well blendable. It's just it's easy to work with. It blends really well with our texture of hair. It doesn't look too fake or obviously temporary. We really like the application. It didn't take that long to put it on both of our heads, and then we went to sleep, and it was fine. It's not like we went to bed at 2 a.m. or something trying to stay up and do this, so that was good. Aside from that, I of course had to do it to my own head, and I'm just gonna fly through mine because it's the exact same process, but less of the time is spent putting the color on because I'm only doing the front section of my hair. again, these are the tools that we're using, and I recently cut my hair, which is what I'm talking about in the video, and the audio was a little bit distorted, so I'm just gonna tell you now. I recently cut my hair, and I only took a couple inches off all around, but it was really damaged and it had to come off. I still have to do another trim to get whatever's left, but now I'm growing it back out since I have a graduation coming up, and I'm really excited to finally have it back to waist length. I don't think I'm gonna get there before my graduation, unfortunately, and fortunately that it's coming so soon, but I'm still gonna try to reach waist length again, and coming on here to show you guys the journey, the ups, the downs, a lot of downs, because part of the McDade life is trying to live a stress-free life as much as possible and trying to focus on the good, focus on the relaxing. But we all know that life isn't always so forgiving and doesn't always allow for that. So sometimes I didn't have time to take care of my hair as great as I used to. And now I'm recovering from that. I'm fixing it up and getting it back into fighting shape. So that's my journey that you guys are going to see on here, as well as a little bit of an inside look into our lives. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to subscribe. If you hate our videos, just let us know why, and we'd be happy to make more content as we get requests. So I'm just going in here and detangling my hair with the same method that we used on Osam's hair. I really like this method. I've never been able to detangle with a tool like this without getting a lot of breakage. My hair is really, really fragile, and the back that I'm working on right now is kind of like a 4A, 4B, more than 4B, 4C, and so the strands are really fine, and they snap. Again, one of the things I want to mention is when you're using this method, you're not pulling this all the way through your hair the way you normally brush. You're just kind of loosening some of the tangles and teasing them towards the ends, and just doing your hands in this gentle way, it helps. It really helps to reduce breakage. You can do this on dry hair or moist hair. I would not recommend it on sopping wet hair because the hair is really fragile when it's in that state, and my hair has snapped trying to manipulate it with tools when it's been soaking wet. So damp, as my hair is here, or dry hair I'd recommend for this technique. Dry hair with some kind of oil. And this is just putting in the flat twist. It's the exact same technique as Osam's, just using really big chunks and clipping the first half because I'm going to leave that part uncolored, and then just using the same, splosh a little bit on the ends, squeeze it into your hand, and this time I'm using one glove because I found it works a little bit better to coordinate. And then once you squeeze it in, you're just going to distribute it with the gloved hand all the way down from ends to, I don't know, 1/4 of the way up, I think is how far I went, maybe 1/6 of the way up on some of this part. And then once you get the color in, just like before, you're gonna blow dry and then twist all the way down to the end. So I'm gonna do the rest of this part off camera, and then I'll come back and show you the end. Once you have completed your twists, go ahead and put on whatever you have, go to bed. Sweet dreams. Alrighty, ready. Welcome back. It's morning. Now we're gonna go ahead and take the twists down. Of course, can't start off without breakfast, so keep it healthy, guys, as much as you can. Your body will thank you. Takedown is pretty self-explanatory. If you need a slower version of that, please check out our twist out video, which we have linked. One thing I will note, the parts that had the temporary dye did clump together a lot. They were kind of like gummy if it wasn't completely dry, and even if it felt dry when I did the twist, I guess it wasn't completely dry, or the gel that I used moistened it again. So the hair clumps together if it's wet when it's kind of put into a set. So be careful if you're doing a twist out or some kind of roller set with this at the ends, not to clump your hair into a knot. Because mine was so thoroughly detangled, it wasn't hard to get the sections apart again. But if you didn't blow dry your hair or stretch it out all the way root to end, then you might experience clumping. So be careful that you're not tearing your hair trying to pull knots apart. And mine is no different, just undoing my twists from bottom to root. And if you don't have time to actually do the styling part of this, just doing the dyeing section will kind of cut down on styling throughout the week, because you don't have to actually do a lot when, again, you have high contrast dye and dark hair, especially really textured hair. Sometimes just having the texture be visible is a way to really elevate a style. So thanks for watching, guys. We're really glad that we have so many people interested in our videos. We really appreciate the warm response we've gotten so far. This channel is new, but we're really excited to keep it growing and to make more videos for you guys and show you some more of the McDade life. I have a video coming out soon talking about my writing process, because I am a writer full-time, and more videos talking about what we do behind the scenes of the McDade life. So stay tuned for next video. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thanks so much for watching. Peace.